Hi.
Hi. I'm John Johnston. I'm the Executive Artistic Director of the Classical Theater Company, and I'm the director for our current production of Othello.
Whoop, whoop.
What? I'm excited to be producing this play. It's my favorite Shakespeare play, and so I've wanted to produce it for a long time. This is the final production of our 18th season.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah,
Wow.
old. So I've been wanting to do it for ages. I fell in love with this play actually in undergrad at Boston College when I did a scene from it and just really loved the play. So I was excited to finally get a chance to produce it. And you know, it took 17 plus seasons to get it done. It was this the confluence of events of the past year and a half, 10 years, 18 years, 450 years has kind of come all together and really gelled for me over the last, particularly, like I said, about a year and a half or so. And seemed like the right time. And so we put it together. The board approved, and we added Othello into our season. So I'm very excited about it. I have a real affinity for this play. As I say, I came to it as an undergrad. It was my first exposure to it. And when this was probably about 20 or so years ago, I was running an after-school drama program for a local middle and high school. And they were, rambunctious kids who, after school drama, they'd be running around and, excited to be out of school and horsing around in the theater. And so trying to get them to pay attention to anything I was saying was a challenge. But finally one day I was like, we're going to do Shakespeare. We do Shakespeare today. And so I got Othello's monologue, soliloquy, maybe, before he, spoiler alert, smothers Desdemona. I know. Oh, my bad.
Whoa.
Sorry, we haven't gotten there yet. No, but it's all right. Don't worry. I know.
I haven't memorized those lines yet.
I know. And so I was just going to read them this great piece of Shakespearean dramatic literature. And like I said, these kids are running around. They were 6th to 9th graders, and most of them spoke English as a second language, and so their English skills were anywhere from 1 to 3 grades lower than would be expected for their age and grade. But I got them to finally sit down, and we all sat down in a circle, and I read this monologue. I explained to them the situation, who Othello was, who Desdemona was, how he got to this point. And then I got them to sit and listen, and I performed the monologue for them. And all of them, all 25 of them, they were all just sitting there, their eyes big as plates, their mouth open, and they're like, what happens next? And I was just like, I only did the next week. So I got a friend of mine to come in, Joanna Hubbard. Hi, Joanna. You're in Hong Kong now, I think, but we miss you. And she came in and read Desdemona. We did the whole scene, this whole smothering scene, and they loved it. Again, just these kids that I couldn't get to sit still for 10 seconds were just absolutely rapt by this piece of theater, dramatic literature, Shakespeare, and not only were they engrossed and engaged by it, but they were these kids who, as I say, spoke English at a lower grade level than would be expected, and 6th to 9th graders too on top of it. So it would be advanced for any 6th to 9th grader, and they understood a lot of we all went around. I was like, what does this mean? What do you think this means? What do you think this means as we go through the speech? And they understood the heightened language and the poetry and the imagery, and all because it was just presented in a manner that was digestible and not put under glass and to be observed, but to be experienced. And that's our aim always at Classical Theater Company, but particularly again now with the full production of Othello. Finger guns. This is Othello, and this is Desdemona. So the two people I just mentioned. Don't mention how it ends. We don't want to.
We don't want to spoil it.
Nothing. Yeah. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Brandon Carter.
Yeah.
I play the military general Othello. I am new to Houston by way of Virginia, and I've been with Shakespeare and his canon for a very long time. It's kind of how I made my money for a long time, and I'm also a nerd of the language and the plays, so I'm always like reading sonnets and doing all that stuff that you probably don't do, but I love it. I've been in, I think, 22 of his plays or something like that, so I'm trying to like finish the canon. This is my third time in Othello. I played Othello in undergrad, unprofessional, and then I played Cassio in a professional production, and then it's sort of for me like a full circle moment, being able to like embody it at a company that I respect, and a lot of people that I've worked with have worked here, so I heard about this company way before I got here, so I'm just kind of thrilled to just be in the work, always curious about things, especially the text. Like the team is like pretty awesome. Like I've worked with some really awesome professionals in the field, and like I would say this is like top tier. So like I love always being curious about the text, the flexibility within it to make choices. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm just a typical actor that's just happy to be working and happy to be telling such a modern story. I think this is one of his more modern plays. If we were to get into it a little bit, into the micro before the macro, I think that this to me is a play about how perception can be confused with truth, and maybe even how that perception is like filtered through revenge or whatever, Iago's lens, and then how the sort of identity is involved in that. Maybe even gender, maybe even misogyny if we want. There's so many different layers of that. I think it is the tragedy of Othello because of how he internalizes Iago's racism, Iago's, again, misogyny and all of that stuff. And I think that can be relatable right now. I think, if, without getting too political, I think people that are melanated, navigating certain spaces, is a very modern story. It's very relevant and something that we can look next door and find. And I'm just like I said, full circle, glad that I'm able to tell a modern story like that. So yeah, ellipses. I'll leave that there. Boom. Period. Dropping
quotation marks.
The anchor. Come see us.
Come see us. Yes. Beat.
Slate.
So 10 years ago, I played Othello in undergrad, and I had dropped out of undergrad to go into the family profession. One of my theater teachers was very adamant on my success, and something that I wasn't looking at all. And I wasn't doing well. I was like failing out of school. I was doing all that stuff, and right before I went on, was about to drop out, I just dropped out, and I said I need to take time to be with myself and see what my future holds. So I went to the family profession, which is commercial fishing, and before I left, said, well, I'm gonna put you in Othello, my teacher at the time. And I said, okay, well, I'll take it. And it's like, well, you don't have to come back to school, but I want you to play this role. So I had, in the Gulf of Mexico, this is the only time I've ever been down to Houston, at the time. So I flew in from Virginia to Gulf of Mexico with a script of Othello, and I was for 3 months with that script every day. I mean, people playing cards, like we're out there like using our muscles and adventurous and all that stuff. And I ended up going back because of my love of it. You know, there is a war on the sea that's in Othello. There's a lot of things that were tying into my experience with that. Life imitates art, blah blah blah. But I think like my love of the language and even learning shanties when I was younger, like, I mean that the musicality and the text and all of that stuff, it speaks to me. It was Shakespeare first that spoke to me before anything else, contemporary work, anything. So I was able to play that at a young age. Again, I wasn't like, I'm 23, 22 at the time. So like my experience to play this role like was small. So I think full circle moment, now that I'm 39, I have a little bit more of life and love and experience and skill to play it. My like personal, for me, I think Othello should be an older man, but it's hella even interesting to be a 39-year-old that sort of represents the vision of JJ and classical theater, where we want to take this, of a young politician in a white man's world, I'll just say it, and how that has affected today. So I think I use my experience and use all of that to play the present and play this world that I hope everybody comes to see. Not just to see everybody in this cast that Houston has seen for a long time do their thing, but just to be involved in the conversation. There's a conversation here. If you don't read the reviews and all that stuff, come and chat with us after. Come and be with us and have a conversation about what we are all fearing and hoping and all of that stuff, you know? So ellipses, 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 period.
Come see us.
Oh, all right. Now all of you are going to look at me. My name is Kat Thomas. I play Desdemona in Othello. And my experience with Othello, I got to understudy for Desdemona at one point in time when I was 23.
We know each other.
And that was a very different experience. It wasn't like my main track. I did a lot of work and a lot of research on it, but I was in another show and I was doing other things. And so at that point in time, Desdemona was kind of out of reach to me, even though she's a young woman, even though she's was very close to who I am, like personally. I can tell a difference between 23-year-old Kat processing and trying to figure out what that was in that particular production at that particular point in my life versus 29-year-old Kat in 29-year-old body. I'm a white woman living in Houston, Texas, playing Desdemona, and I'm so thankful for like the chance to play this role and like work through that and process the wonderful language that Shakespeare gave us, wonderful scene partners. I've really enjoyed working with you. Feel very like I know, you smother me at the end, but I feel so safe on stage.
Because she's so good. It's just like, we can't continue. It's too late.
It's hard. But yeah, Desdemona gets into situations that are unsafe, but I feel so safe. And as an acting partner, it's like a really, really cool relationship I've been able to create with all of the actors in the cast, even though Desdemona and Othello are like some of the biggest relationships in the play. Desdemona interacts and interfaces with so many people, whether it's through text or through looking at each other or holding hands, or just there's so many moments that she gets to observe, and there are so many moments that she is observed, and yeah, it's a part where eyes are on you very often, and it's been interesting to like be in that, and like I said, process what it is to be a white woman, and in a like a white male dominated space who is in love with a black man, and when is she complicit in the system that she's trying to fight against, and when is she not, and while the text about Desdemona, or the text from Desdemona, her identity, the perception of her, it's all of the text is regarding Desdemona. It's highly about people's perception of her or her identity, and like how I fit into that, but also how I challenge it, and how I play into the aesthetic, but also how I not always do the thing that's been done before. How has Desdemona been played before? Just always looking for little ways to be as complex as people can be. But yeah, I've enjoyed this cast. I love Shakespeare, and yeah, this has been a really cool experience.
I love, so hold on, can I get another?
It's like,
So what I love about this version of Othello here in Houston at Classical Theater Company is that what I've realized out of the three, this is the third production that I've been in, I was able to see the characters sort of move through pushing away different versions of themselves. And we start with Iago believing in that version of himself and then completely like having to divorce himself, and which kind of sparks the thing. And then Desdemona and her version of Iago and herself with him, Othello, his version of himself in this world. That to me is very interesting because we do have versions of ourselves that we attach to other people, and I think that is so relatable and so real, and I vibe with that. I'm gonna put a beat here in case you want to cut this out. I fuck with that. I really do vibe with that because that is where you get to the meat of the work. I love that this particular production, we are diving into the love between Desdemona and Othello, and that is being like sort of propelled at to what's at stake. Like that is what's at stake. I've seen other productions where that like it's like cute, it's like vibey, it's whatever, but it's like actually no, like she is his everything, you know, like, and vice versa. And I think that is important to know because the fall is even greater, you know, like we have to love the two of them. And then I think like the chess match between Othello and Iago is my favorite, one of my favorite things, because it is another thing that's relatable to me is like you have two people or you have a group of people, whatever, in a space, and sometimes people aren't playing the game. And I feel like Iago and Othello, Iago is playing a game that Othello is not. And I think that is, again, beautifully relatable of like, what if Othello was playing the game? What if he was, because we see a brilliant general. Everybody's brilliant. They're great at what they do. But what if he was actually playing the game? Then we wouldn't have a play. But I think the thing that is weaponized is the trust, the honesty, all of that stuff. And I think that's the tragic thing, again, when he internalizes it, Othello. Yeah. That for me is, yeah. Boom.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, especially in the last couple of days, now that we've gotten, like, tech is in full swing and our costumes are where they are and we're situated and we're living and settling into the thing. I've really enjoyed getting to delve into Emilia and Desdemona's relationship. It's kind of seen as like, oh yes, like they could be friends, they could be like a servant and a lady, they could be like, you play with class, you play with relationship, you play with all kinds of things. And getting to work with Olivia Knight, who plays Emilia, the last couple of days, like just playing with the tiny intricacies of what their relationship means when they're reaching out to each other and when they're not, and making it more specific and not just like girl-coded girl friendship theme, but like something specific and something beautiful, and that's been really fun and kind of tasty to work with the last couple of days, especially now that we're, that space of dress rehearsal where all the stuff comes together, and you get that air to make even more discoveries that before we were even able to make, because we were all working on lines and working on blocking and working on all the themes that are in this play. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Well, this is the first time I've ever worked on this play. And I've seen some terrific productions over the years, locally and not locally. But to me, listen, I'm gonna be biased here, I fully admit, but this, to me, as a enjoyer of theater, this production speaks more to me than any of the ones I've seen, and the ones I've seen are at much bigger, grander theaters. I'm just saying. So that's my tip to you guys. Come see us. The cast is great. The production team is terrific. Everyone has given it their all to help bring this fever dream of a vision I had for this play. And I'm not gonna, no spoilers. You have to come see the play, but it has some unique imagery and design elements to it that I didn't know would be possible, and everyone's made it come and happen. And you guys need to come see this show. It's going to be really good, I think. That being said, we run Othello at the Deluxe Theater from April 17th until May 2nd. April 17th until May 2nd. So you need to come down and see this show. You only got 15 shots to come do it. So come do it. Come do it. We got matinees. We got evening shows.
Yep.
Come on down.
We're
come
looking
on down.
for you.
We will be we're all watching. We're all watching.
Come see us.
Come see us. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Yes, bye. I'm gonna go.
What? Hey guys, I'm back. It's me, Othello. They're gone now. What do you want? What do you need? Whoa.